Obviously, a pretty good night for the Bearcats. It was that was a lot of fun. A lot of things happened. I enjoyed watching that one. I sat back and watched the guys. I tell you, they put a good game plan together on both offense and defense. We did different things on defense and offensively. Obviously, we had to switch quarterbacks, and we did a few different things on the offensive line this week with our running game, which really helped. Holding them to 42 yards rushing. They're a team that's been just pounding people, and then for us to rush for 273, who would have thought? Well, it was fun to watch our guys build confidence. And when a young guy like Michael Boone goes in, 2 weeks ago he's on the scout team, getting the heck knocked out of him from Jeff Luck and Temple and all the defensive linemen, and he gets in the game and he starts doing good things. All the other guys kind of start noticing what's going on. Even your younger guys, your corners. Our corners have struggled all year long. And, you could just kind of tell them everybody out there was feeding off Mike Boone when he started getting the ball in his hands. And, we played pretty good early up into that point, but you could just tell the confidence that was started to build on the football team. So good job of the offensive line to run that much. That's big for a team like us. We don't have a lot of different running plays. We're a zone team, and we try to take advantage of people's mistakes. And tonight we had good blocking up front, and our guys made a lot of plays, and our special teams they wasn't great, but they were good enough for us to win. But again, it all goes back to defense. We got the ball back many times for the offense. We made them turn the ball over. I think we've had 8 turnovers the last 2 weeks, right, Cos?
Yes, sir.
And when you do that and rush the ball and stop the run, you got a good chance to win games. So proud of our players. They played hard, and it just showed up in a week of practice. I knew we were going to play good. I just didn't know whether they're going to be good enough to play a team that lit the scoreboard up last week in the fourth quarter against Tulsa. But good win for us. We needed this one at home.
What did it mean for you for Munchie to score that touchdown?
Yeah, I brought him up at halftime, and everybody's kind of wondering what happened to Gunner. And I brought him up, and I told every one of them, they all got quiet, and I said, he's our guy, and we're going to go with him. Gunner's beat up a little bit, and he put a long year of rehab in, something that most of us wouldn't have went through. And this was his moment. And I challenged the offensive line, the running backs, and the defense to help him out. And he was a little rusty. He dropped too deep in the pocket a few times, and the rush got to him. But overall, he did a very good job on third down. And that was kept the clock running and gave us an opportunity to put the thing away. So proud of Munchie, and we're going to give him a game ball for this. For kid scoring a touchdown in a game like this, and what he's gone through meant a lot to all of us that's on the football team, and hopefully our fans recognize the things that he's gone through.
How was Gunner?
He's all right. I mean, he ribs, and we'll have to see. I mean, he wasn't doing real good, so it's one of those things. I'm glad we got Munchie around, and a kid that's got some experience.
Did you expect Boone to run that much, or you just get the hot hand?
He just got the hot hand. Last week, Rod Moore hurt his hand real bad, and he couldn't grip the ball. And if he had the ball in his hand, one of the side of the hand that's hurt on, they were doing a good job trying to rip it out. And so we decided to go with Mike. Mike's got a lot of confidence. He's one of these kids that he believes that he's a fifth-year senior. So that always helps to have a lot of confidence. But he's got some quick moves, and he learned a pretty good lesson to get both hands around that ball going into the end zone. But I tell you, that group of South Florida does the best job I've ever seen of people ripping the ball out. They're after every football, and they got the big one right at the beginning of the second half, and that could have been very serious. But fortunately, we were able to get a fumble back on the next couple plays.
Boone played wide receiver last year?
He played wide receiver quite a bit because they had a quarterback and they wanted somebody to throw the ball to, and so he'd played running back before that. So they moved him to wide receiver, and it kind of somebody that was underneath the radar, so to speak.
So as a junior, he played running back, and that's what you always used?
Yeah, and they threw a lot of the short passes like we throw, where you catch it into the bubble passes, catch it and run and make people miss. And you worry about taking a receiver and putting back a running back, because usually they don't understand it as well as the guys played run. But he's played running back before, so proud to see him have some success. Chad Mansbach hurt his shoulder, so we're down to one. So next week, if he goes down, then we'll be in no backs in the backfield. It's getting pretty serious.
You wanted to redshirt him, right?
I tried every way in the world to redshirt him. I was holding on, and it is what it is. I'd love to have him for 5 years, but running backs, you never know. He might get a little beat up in 1 year, and you might have to hold him out for a year. So, he's getting ready to get a bunch of them now.
Was Shaq in a feature tonight, or did it just work out that he ended up having a big night?
The inside receivers, where they don't, depending on the coverage, how much zone and man. If they play zone, he's going to get a lot of footballs thrown to him, and that's what they did. They ran a lot of zones, and then he's good on all the bubble routes. He made a heck of a catch over his head for a first down. Shaq's just a football player. I mean, he loves it, and we got him for another year after this, and I'm anxious to see what he can do for the next 17, 18 games.
Coach, a lot of SMU last week was kind of limited defensively. People expected a tougher game this week to go out and play as well as you did tonight. Do you think you showed more of your improvement tonight as opposed to last week?
Yeah, and I think a lot of it comes from confidence and how we practice. It's been tough. That first 5 games, we got the heck knocked out of us. We had a lot of guys beat up, and we didn't have a lot of consistency on the offensive line. Different group every week, different running backs. Defensively, they took advantage of our corners, who were very young, and they got a lot of outside runs we didn't support very well. But we're kind of maturing as we go along. It was good to win on the road last week, and it was great to win tonight. I didn't know what to expect. I knew we'd get a heck of a game from South Florida, but we were going to take the runaway, and we lined up to take the runaway, and we were fortunate that we made some plays on third down on the passing. It was fun to watch. That's how you play defense. And again, we needed a game like that against a team that had scored some points to give us some confidence. SMU was, they're struggling. We all know that. This team has played pretty good most of the year, even though they lost a few games. They'd played very respectable against a lot of good football teams.
How do you go about changing the mindset of the defense with as bad as you struggled the first 5 weeks, now 2 weeks in a row holding the opponent under 300 yards?
Yeah, it's and I've called them names all year. Y'all have heard it, but I've told them I've told it to their face. I mean, hey, call it what it is. And I told them that. I've coached defense all my life, and it was god awful for a few games, but we played some good teams, and I challenged them. You want me to quit saying that? You prove me wrong, and so I won't call them the bad news Bearcats this week. So we'll go another week, but we got a lot of work to do. But our guys, they take a challenge, and we challenge them this week to line up and on both sides of the ball and control the line of scrimmage, and that's pretty much what happened tonight, offense and defensive line.
Would you expect Gunner to be ready next week?
I have no clue. Now, they took him to get x-rays, and did he come back out on the field?
No, sir.
So I have not heard. I went in to see Chad Mansbach. Those are the 2 guys that went down, and we'll just have to wait and see. I'm giving them all off tomorrow. They hadn't had a day off in a while. We do play Friday, but we'll give them off tomorrow, and we'll start back on Sunday. And hopefully, it's not as bad as it looked as he's going off the field. It looked pretty bad.
Coach, you had a chance to kneel it again. Chad ended up getting hurt. Is that one you want back, or did you want to get him some carries?
Yeah, no, we want him to run the ball because if something happens to our other guys, he's going to have to play. He hadn't had many plays, and so we just run it right and left. And he's had problems before. I mean, he'll be back. I mean, he's one of those. He'll suck it up and tape up and go. He loves football, and he's dedicated, and he's going to make his name for a short yardage runner because I tell you can't hardly bring the kid down. He'll get that 1 or 2 yards for you.
Thanks, guys. Players, be ready.